7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I'm with you with the area of AFM, that is Accounting and Financial Management for Bankers. Okay, so what are we doing today? We are done with our module B, everyone. I hope you have done this particular topic well. What am I going to talk about today? I will be talking about the revision of the module B. Okay, so let's talk about the module B. Conversion of loan into equity results in change in both assets and liabilities, change in total assets, change in total liabilities, or change in liabilities but total liabilities remain the same. Acha. Now, what is the balance sheet equation? This seems to be a balance sheet equation question where we have assets is equal to capital plus liabilities. You know? Acha everyone, if you had been following this series from quite a long time, then once I'm done with module B, I'll move to module C after that. Okay, number one. Number two, when I'm talking about the series entirely, we're done with the entire module A and we're done with the module B as well. So first of all, please go ahead and share the session among your peers. And if you haven't liked it yet, then please go ahead and like it. And now subscribe to our channel as well so that you can get more information about these examinations. Acha everyone, our new batch for JIB is also starting. The resolution batch is starting from it is starting in this month itself from 10th of January. So enroll yourself before the batch starts, because again, if you join in advance, then one particular thing is for sure, that is you won't miss anything regarding the class. But if you join it a little later, that's the only problem that you might face, that is the time. Might not be getting enough time there, you know. So it's better that you join it in advance so that by the time the classes are there, you are relieved enough ki theek hai, I can go and attend the particular classes as well as take care of my office as well, you know. So that's a little advice for you regarding the examination. Acha, what's the next pointer? Conversion of the loan. Now we are talking about assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Acha, the question has said that loan is converted into equity, you know. So in this case, what should I do? The loan is a part of liabilities, you know, and equity is the capital. If there was a loan and you remove this loan the total loan was of 10 lakh, out of 10 lakh they said 8 lakh is converted into equity. So technically you will remove 8 lakhs from here and you will add 8 lakhs here, right? So you're gonna, the total liability side is, the total is same, you know, but the difference is in the values. So can I say there is a change in liabilities but the total liabilities remain the same, right? So that's the point number D, everyone. Achha, next is repayment of loan results in change in both assets and liabilities, change in total assets only, total liabilities only, change in liabilities but the total assets remains the same. Repayment of loan results in, achha, I'm repaying a loan, putting it into the same situation. This is my asset. How do we build up our assets? That is capital plus liabilities. You know, so if I'm talking about this area, repayment of loan, I repaid the loan. What would happen in this case? Repayment of loan results in repayment of loan. Uh, okay, I'm talking about repayment of loan. If I'm repaying the loan, my liabilities are going down. For example, my borrowing was again of 10 lakhs. I think the same question, that is conversion. This is repayment. So I'm removing 8 lakhs from here. Let's take the same amount now. But at the same time, repayment means what? I'm paying in cash now. So one thing is the amount is moved from the liability side, but also from the cash. So technically, it is both assets and liabilities. And ultimately, the LHS is equal to still RHS. Assets is still equal to capital plus liabilities because both the sides have gone by the down by the same amount. Decrease by same amount. You know, done. So answer is change in both assets and liabilities. Acha, next question. Which one of the following is correct about the methods of valuation of closing stock permitted as per Ind AS? In our books, na, they've given LIFO, FIFO, and weighted average. LIFO, FIFO, weighted average. There are many other methods as well. HIFO, then this is highest in first out. There is, I think there are almost 10, 11 more methods. Other than HIFO, there is still a lot of other methods. The simple average based, this is weighted average. There is simple average as well. There are other different methods which are used. But the point is, when we talk about AS, AS has always been biased. They do not believe in LIFO somehow because they say that LIFO provides wrong presentation. So it permits only LIFO method, it uses only FIFO method, it permits use FIFO and weighted average, and it is silent about the valuation. It is never silent. That's one particular thing that I would like to state. They are never silent. Be it AS, be it NDS. Both had been very much vocal about the method which they do not want to use. According to them, LIFO was just not meant for it. It permits the use of FIFO and weighted average. Problem is, in terms of inflation, which is a common problem in India, inflation is something which doesn't cover the LIFO method because LIFO during inflation gives false um, presentation. I won't say it's fraudulent, but it is just too very much exaggerated, which is definitely wrong. Think, if we talk about the money which is going out of our LIFO is what? Last in, first out. The last good that went out due to inflation, its value was too high. So what happens is the amount of sale in terms of the cost, your cost seems too high, your profit seems too low, and then what happens is that you according to the books of accounts you are making lesser money, while if we talk about LIFO, the goods you have purchased earlier, the value at that point of time would have been lesser rather than being more. At that point of time, the value would have been lesser. If I bought something for 10 rupees, due to inflation, its value is now 100 rupees. And this has happened with multiple things. So then, nahin, chalo, let's take it. I bought it at 70 rupees, and right now its value is at 100 rupees. In the books of accounts, when I'm showing the issue, I showed it in our country. This kind of inflation is definitely there. From 70 to 100 movement of the money there. Now the point is, I bought it for 70. Now it is sold for 100. Now if I show my goods which are used for production, the value is utilized as 100. So technically 30 rupees profit is just not visible because I am going to show that the good which went out was rupees 100 only. But technically what happens? We will always use the 70 wala first na, because if inflation is there, I will sell it at least 140 to 150. Only then I'll make a profit because currently if I'm buying the goods it is at 100 rupees and sale would be at a higher price. So technically if I'm selling the 70 wala stuff, this is currently at 70 rupees profit. Your profit is of 70 plus, while the goods value is of 100 rupees currently. And you'll be showing ki nahi, the profit is just of rupees 40. So aren't you having a situation where your profit is shown at a price which is not true? Isn't it? That's the reality. That is why LIFO is something which doesn't work in inflation. During inflation, it shows pathetically wrong results. the results are definitely not reliable. So ultimately they say कि ठीक है ना, if it is not reliable then let's not keep it, because weighted average and inflation, weighted average as well as the second one, that is FIFO, these two methods are very sorted about these things. Done, everyone? A firm has received advanced rent from the tenant for the month of April. In March, acha, now the money of current year was last received in last year. Sorted. Which of the following adjustments entries is correct while preparing the accounts for the year ended 31st March? Acha, debit advance rent received and credit rent received account. Acha, one particular thing that I, first of all, everybody has to think, not only me, but when we talk about I'm receiving money in the month of March which belongs to April. मतलब technically these are advances. Number one, है ना? These are advances. Secondly, when we talk about advances, what happens in case of advances? If we received any sort of money in advance, what's happening? The liability on your head. And the taxation regarding the same should be there in the year in which it accrues. One thing is sorted. So this is in the month in which it accrues. है ना? So what will you do in this case? Done? अच्छा. Now, what should we do in this case? One particular thing that I know is this is a liability. In terms of a liability, what can I do? This liability should be written on the credit side. बोझ है ना? It's a burden on my head that will put me down. So one particular thing I have to look forward is credit advance rate and credit advance rate. Achha, both of these are correct. But we are receiving the rent or paying? We are receiving. So that means this is just not correct. This is correct. Matlab, every time the bankers had been asking me na, कि ma'am, how do we get the correct journal entries? There is only one cue to it, everyone. You know what is it? Whenever you are dealing with these kind of questions, the only rule that we have is whenever we are dealing with these kind of things, the only and only rule is you remember or half part of your entry should be correct. If you can identify even single part of the journal entry, na, because there are double, so there are debit and the credit side. If you can deal even with the debit side, then the credit side is something that you'll figure it out. If you figure out the credit side, you can figure out the debit side, because this is an MCQ paper. MCQ means you get the idea of the options. So whenever you are dealing with the questions, you should not be pressurized with the fact that I should be totally correct and it should be the point. Don't worry. Think about these questions from the point of view of being a layman. And you are into the finance field in any case. You agree to it or not. Maybe you would say that I belong to the area of engineering, I belong to the area of arts, but you had been giving your life towards the area of banking. Probably many of you would have already given 3 to 4 years, 5 years in the area of banking. Many of you would have given, I had seen bankers who had given 20 years of their lives towards this, and then they start thinking, "Nahi, I would like to go for JIB and CIB now." So you are into finance. You had spent a good amount of time in finance. You just have to get confident about it. कि ठीक है, I know about this and I would be able to grow further. Okay, now which one of the following is not a feature of joint stock company? Other joint stock companies are what? These are basically companies which we talk about. These are basically companies, na? Companies in the form of what? Uh, when we talk about the companies, company has its individual presence in the market. It is basically a legal type, you know, just it has its pan card. It has its own bank account. It can purchase and sell um, property in its own name. All those things are there. Which one of the following is not a feature? It's an independent legal status. I just told you it has its own pan. So this one is correct. We're talking about negative pointer. Common seal is mandatory to be fixed. Common seal is something, a kind of a seal kind of thing that you put on the particular documents. Okay, many of you would have seen that earlier now when there used to be the kingdoms and all. Every kingdom had the king used to have a specific stamp kind of thing, which was in Hindi they used to call it Rajsi Mohar. Mohar is basically the stamp. So then they used to put that particular stamp in order to show the authentication by the king himself, because obviously he couldn't sign in everything. No? There was a seal kind of thing, and that too was in possession with the ministers only. So the common seal is affixed by the companies even to show that the company has signed it, because company is not a man. Then members liability is limited, one of the coolest feature. And the next point is it has a perpetual succession. Perpetual succession means men may come and men may go, but the company is here, at least in the near future. You cannot say that the company is here to die. Why would someone spend so much of time to formulate a company just to see it liquidated? Making of a company is tough, and liquidating a company is way tougher. Reality. Now, the point is these 3 points as per the Companies Act, the Companies Act 2013, these 3 points are absolutely correct. The point where they vary is common seal is mandatory. It is no more mandatory. Now the one working, the whole time director and one managing director, both of them if signs, then it is equal to an authentication. That is managing director plus any whole time director, any director which is working every single uh, year. Matlab he's working in that particular year wholly, not in a partial way. There he's not there for the sitting fees and board meetings. He's there with the management in terms of working. So that's what they cover in this area. Anji. Then comes Food Corporation of India is an example of statutory company, chartered company, private limited company, holding company. FCI, acha, this kind of question was asked in the examination probably this November only. They gave a question about East India Company. This was the company which actually enslaved India, looted our country for 200 years, and took away a lot of things from the country. Again, in 200 years of slavery, we had faced a lot of um, excavations of our precious stones and everything. So again, there were many things. But now from the point of accounting, East India Company was formed by the Queen. This is actually a chartered company, everyone. The companies which were formed, the biggest companies act existed at that point of time. Even Britishers had their own set of rules. If you will see now, our most of the acts and all had been developed later on only, because India, as soon as it got free, we had freedom, but poverty, illiteracy, then hard hit by the famines. There were so many things that were happening. So India had taken up many things which were existing at the time when Britishers were there as well. Even in the Companies Act now, there are certain cases which had been directly taken from the era of Britishers only. Later on, many Indian cases have also been added, but the contribution of all those things are definitely there. If you'll go up, if you are studying Companies Act now, it starts with Salmon versus Salmon. That's a case, again, there is not an Indian case. That's a case which has happened in terms of the UK only. So that is something. There are many cases, not only this, but when we talk about Companies Act altogether, that was initially that we has to be following. The base of it was under the chartered. Charter means the company's rule, the Queen's signature. So that is a kind of Queen signature based company. So East India Company was a chartered. So FCI is definitely not one of these. It's not a private company. It is not owned by the general public. It's not a holding company. It is not holding any other company. Matlab it doesn't have a control over any other organization. Then let's talk about statutory company. Statutory or statute based companies are those companies which are law based. ठीक है ना? These are law. Okay, these are law based. The law prepared this company, and its power is derived from the law itself, right? Which one of the following is not the list of statements which form the complete set of statements as per Ind AS? Statement of equity changes, it is required. Statement of P&L required. Then we have comparative information of previous accounting period, that is also given. The statement of changes in assets, this is not given. Answer is B, everyone. Okay, so this is it for the day, everyone. I hope this session was helpful for you. If it wasn't, then let me know about it. How can I make it better for you? And at the same time, if it was, then please go ahead and like it, because every time you are appreciating the sessions, that motivates me further to bring up something new. Then that motivates me further that I should prepare more and more questions so that you get benefited from the particular classes. So please go ahead and check it out. Now, let's go on to our website. This is our website, that is www.adda247.com. Go on to the area of JIIB. In this area, you can see resolution batch is starting. The resolution batch is starting from 10th of January. Click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541 and you will get a discount of 78% flat. 77 visible, 78%, because if you will use the app, you will get the benefit. Please go ahead and check it out on our website, on our app, for further details, and utilize this opportunity. Enroll yourself before time so that by the time the class starts, you are all set for it. So keep on learning, everyone. Keep on growing. 2024 is the year where you are going for your JIB examination. Then, if it's May, then you should hurry up and start preparation. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'll be meeting you in the next session. Keep on sharing and showing the appreciation towards our classes. Thank you.